Is that a B? B flat. All right. Good morning. Thank you all for being here. All right. And so for those on Zoom, our wire internet connection is problematic again this week, so we're wireless, so hopefully it goes smoothly like it did last week. Putting that out there. All right, so let's begin. We can tuck our thumbs into our fingers, let our hands rest on our thighs. If you'd like to close your eyes, you can, or if you want to just soften your gaze, maybe looking down at the floor a couple feet in front of you. And we can just take a few moments to bring our awareness to the three treasures. And I think everybody here knows what those are. The Jing, the Qi, and the Shen, the body, the breath, and the mind. Alignment, movement, interest. And it's always helpful to move through them one at a time. So taking a moment to just feel your body, feel the shape that your body is in. Noticing any areas of ease, areas of tension. Making any adjustments that need to be made. It can be helpful to bring your shoulders up to your ears and let them drop, maybe doing that a couple times. You can also lift your eyebrows, stretching the space in between the eyebrows and letting those relax. And just tuning into your body. Oh, would you mind opening the door? It's unlocked, but it's tricky. Thank you. So yeah, just making any adjustments to the body that are there to be made. And as we settle into our bodies, as we get grounded, as we slow down a little bit, the breath becomes more apparent. So including that in our awareness, the breath moving into and through the body, and if you'd like to expand the length of the breath, you can, just so that you can use the breath to come more into your body, to feel more of what's going on, to notice how and where the breath is moving or not moving. And as we settle into an awareness of our alignment and body and breath and movement of the breath, and noticing the focus of the mind becomes a little bit more apparent. Noticing if we're following our breath through our body, if other thoughts are there. And the invitation with this practice, if the thoughts are somewhere else, or if the focus of the mind is somewhere else, the invitation is to direct it, to use our intention to direct the focus of the mind to the movement of the breath into and through the body, so that we can be more aware of how it feels to be embodied. And that awareness is called interoception. Just being able to feel what's going on in our bodies, as well as feeling how we feel about what's going on in our bodies. This is interoception, and the recent research shows that cultivating interoception helps to calm our stress response. So even just noticing, I'm stressed and tense in my body and I feel anxious, actually helps to reduce the stress of the tension and the anxiety. Or I feel relaxed and spacious in my body and calm. It helps to enhance the quality of spaciousness and calm. That's what the modern research says. The pre-modern research describes it as using the E, the intention, to direct the Shen into the Jing, or using the E to allow the Shen to reclaim the Jing. Hello! Well, hopefully that doesn't happen too many more times. And so again on Zoom, I'm not sure how long ago it was that you left, but we were talking about the mind reclaiming the essence by way of our intention. And so as you're ready, we can bring our hands together, rubbing our palms together and maintaining this awareness of the three treasures, maintaining a focused intention, allowing the mind to be in the body, anchored by the breath. And again, just with this idea of the Shen reclaiming the Jing, the mind reclaiming the essence, or reclaiming our bodies, or reclaiming the stuff, as opposed to the stuff just being scattered all everywhere. Let's take a nice deep breath in together. Shake it out. Rubbing the palms together and breathing. We can bring our hands to our faces and massage our faces. You can massage up and out, or any other way that feels good. And from here, you can then just move your hands over your scalp, going front to back or back and forth, massaging your head, your scalp. You can go fast, you can go slow. Just explore the whole surface area. There are many acupoints on the scalp. There are some kind of in the center of the top of our head that are very related to our sinuses. So if you're having some sinus congestion this time of year, that can be a nice place to rub and massage. Down at the base of the skull, on the back of the head, there are many, many lymph nodes that tend to get full, that can make it hard for the fluid to drain out of our heads. So it's a nice area to massage. And then, of course, over our ears, we have our big temporalis muscle, which often contributes to jaw tension, headaches. So just massaging all of those areas. Remembering that these simple things actually have far-reaching, beneficial effects. And then as you're ready, your hands can slide down the back of your neck and around. Nice deep breath in. Shake it out. Rubbing the palms together, breathing. Let's take the edge of our thumbs on either side of our nose and massage from the base of the nose up to the bridge of the nose and the inner canthus of the eyes. Just targeting the sinuses specifically. You can hang out up high at that inner corner of your eyebrows over the frontal sinus if that feels good. You can hang out down low on either side of the base of the nostrils over the maxillary sinus if that feels good. You can go in between. And when you feel ready, nice deep breath in and out. Rubbing the palms together and breathing. Skipping ahead right to our self-shoulder massage, beginning with the left arm up to the right shoulder, and then alternating sides. Just letting gravity do most of the work. Bring some intention into the hand that's swinging up and landing on your shoulder. And by that, I just mean just think about it. Or maybe feel your palm as it's moving through the air. And as it lands on your shoulder, just see if that changes your experience, if it changes how it feels when it lands on your shoulder, if it makes a slightly different sound. Do one more on each side. And a big breath in. And out. Rubbing the palms together. Breathing deeply. And then we can open our chests the traditional way, as we do in our self-massage. So we'll bring our right fingertips into a beak. Find the bottom of your left collarbone and slide out into that hollow space out near the shoulder joint. And then we'll take our left fingertips into a beak, find the bottom of your right rib cage, and just follow it down. And no matter your body type, eventually there's a little notch that you find on the edge of the rib cage. And then we'll tap these two spots. And as you tap, you can make small circles in both of these areas. The lower point might be halfway on the ribs, halfway on the belly, maybe even almost like as if you were tapping like up and underneath that lower rib. But just looking around, being curious, seeing what you feel, and it may happen that you find a spot in one or both of these spots that feels distinct. And if you do, you can hang out on that spot and continue to tap and just feel what it feels like. I also encourage you and invite you to feel the space in between these 2 points. From the bottom of the ribs cage up to the top of the rib cage. And as you breathe, see if you can feel a connection between these 2 points, like you're bridging the gap between these 2 points. Breathing into your chest, not just the belly, but the chest, around the heart, around the lungs, in between the shoulder blades, behind the heart, filling the backside of the rib cage with the breath. And noticing, is the breath moving through this area easily? Are there some rocks in the river, so to speak? Just noticing what's there and continuing to breathe and allowing things to be felt, allowing movement to occur. And as you're ready, you can transition to hands and just massaging these 2 points, breathing and feeling. And then let's before we take a deep breath, we're going to switch sides. So we'll bring the left fingertips underneath the right collarbone and slide out into our hollow space, and then the right fingertips to the bottom of the left collarbone, sliding down, finding the little notch in the ribs, and then we can tap. And just like the other side, looking around, feeling what's here. Different sides of the body can sometimes feel very different from each other. Even though it's the same body, there is much diversity in one body. Just as there is much diversity in this one universe. Even the word, universe, one many. And it's all those differences, each one of us being so unique and different. That's something we have in common, our differences. Paradox. A contrary statement that rings true. Breathing into each of these spots, breathing into the space in between these 2 spots, bridging the gap between these 2 spots so that they can become one. One breath, one body, with so much diversity. Rub and massage. Continuing to feel and breathe. And then a deep breath in. Shake it out. Rubbing our palms together. Then we can bring our hands onto our lower ribs, massaging the lower ribs and working our way onto our belly. One hand can come to the chest while the other remains over the belly, and over time, if you'd like, you can switch which hand is on top and which hand is below. And if it feels good to bring both hands together over the solar plexus, over the abdomen and the belly, you can do that. Maybe massaging underneath the bottom edge of the rib cage, just checking in with our diaphragm muscle, primary muscle of inspiration, primary muscle of repression. And as you're ready, your hands can come around your waist to your lower back, the kidneys, the backside of the rib cage, the top of the hip bone, the sacroiliac joint, lumbar spine. And then we'll draw our hands out. Shake them out. Rubbing the palms together and breathing. Arm massage. Beginning with the left arm, a little tap up the outside and down the inside. And go at your pace, however fast or slow feels good. Try different things. If you really like fast, go slow, and vice versa. And up one more time, and then down. Changing sides, tapping the fingertips up the outside, down the inside. Remember to breathe. Remember to attune to your alignment, the sensations in your body. Notice the focus of your mind. Is it on your hand and your arm and your alignment and your breath? Is it on something else? It's okay, whatever it's focused on, but just notice what you're focused on. Focus on it on purpose. Use your mind to reclaim your essence. Or really, use your intention to direct your mind to reclaim your essence. Like, that's a pretty empowering and liberating notion. That we can do that. And up one more time, and then down. Big breath in. Shake it out. Rubbing the palms together, and then you can bring your feet out in front. And if you're standing, you can, if you can't reach your feet or don't want to get to your feet, you can massage your hips, your thighs, your knees, whatever feels good. Something in the lower body. Something to help bring awareness into our legs, which are heavy and dense and have some of the biggest muscles in our body. Have a whole lot of blood and fluid that need to move up against gravity. And after you've massaged your feet, or your hips or thighs or knees or calves, you can, if you're massaging your feet, find the deepest hollow on the bottom of the foot, you're massaging your legs, maybe the deepest hollow in your glute muscle or the side of the thigh on the IT band or behind the knee. Just apply some pressure, some focus, some intention. And then from here, we'll move up the inside of the legs and around the hips and down the outside. And feel what this feels like. Like, we're not just doing it to do it or doing it because I'm inviting you to do it, but really feel. Does it feel good? If not, is there a way that you could do it that could make it feel good? If that's changing the amount of pressure you're using, the speed that you're going at, or even just bringing in an intention for why you're doing this, which no one needs to know. Whatever intention you want. And we can come up one more time and around and down and out. And then a big breath in. Shake it out. Rubbing the palms together one more time for now. We can tuck our thumbs back into our fingers, hands resting on the thighs, and return to the alignment of your body. Breathe deeply into the body, into every cell of the body. And allow that movement of the breath into every cell, that saturation of the body with the breath. Allow that to be the focus of your mind. Like, feel this exchange of energy that is taking place. We're breathing in this oxygen, breathing in the external universe into us, which makes it possible for us to be alive, to breathe, to think, to feel. We didn't have to ask for the breath or the ability to breathe. It was a gift. So can we acknowledge that gift by being present with the giving of the gift and the receiving of the gift, the being of the gift? And whenever you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes. Right. Any questions about anything? There's never questions. All right. Great. Well, we are in the first phase of winter, according to Chinese cosmology. The name of the phase is called the start of winter. And, we've talked about how the cycles of the year, the 4 seasons, they correspond to the cycles of a lifetime. And so winter would be elderhood, because we've lived through a year. We've seen what happens, like out of nothing, out of the blanket of snow of the early January and February years. There's these seeds that sprout and they mature, they become something, and then they fade away and transform into something else. Like we know that. We have seen it happen. And so this idea of winter, yin time, so we've talked about moving inwards, settling in, and so there's this idea of reflection, of being able to just kind of see what's going on from a perspective of a little bit of wisdom, that has come through time, through the experience of the interconnectedness of everything, the interdependence and the impermanence of things. And so, that's kind of what winter is a little bit about. And winter relates to the water element in our bodies. That shows up as our kidneys and our urinary bladder. That's water metabolism in our bodies. Our adrenal glands sit on top of our kidneys. And so when we're thinking about the impermanence of things, moving into winter, everything is coming to a close. The trees look as if they're dying almost. That can bring up a little bit of fear, a little bit of that adrenaline response. And at the same time, our adrenal glands have to do with the will to survive as well. That's what fight or flight comes from. Why do we have an adrenaline response? Because we want to run from a bear. Why do we want to run from a bear? Because we don't want to get eaten by the bear. And so that's this will to continue to grow and to create and to become and to evolve, which in those adrenal glands and in our nervous systems, in our DNA, is the wisdom of everything that has come up to this point, and even the potentials that exist for what will come after. And so, this ability to know that that's there, that there's this accumulated wisdom or knowledge or intelligence, and there's also an innate kind of wisdom that is guiding everything. So, the start of winter. All right. So now let's practice. What I'd like to do, so we've been working on Tai Chi, Qigong, and so we're going to continue doing that, but before we do that, let's just do some Qigong. As we've been doing the past couple weeks, we've been doing the Huigong warm-up. I thought it might be fun today to do the 9 phases of Qi cultivation, because it's been a little while since we've done that. And so, let's see what that's like for everybody. All right. And you can stand, you can remain seated. All right. Okay. Yeah. So, feel free to just kind of shake it out, wiggle. Maybe even we can start with just a little bit of bouncing, a little bit of spontaneous shaking Qigong, however much or little feels good. And again, even just a very subtle just bend in the knees, that can be enough to get things going. Maybe turning side to side, maybe going deeper, maybe coming off your heels, maybe bending at the elbows. Lots of options, lots of ways to explore this. And to just let the body move and loosen up and be free. A couple sighs of relief. Let's do one more together. And as you're ready, in your own time, you can let things wind down. Maybe take a moment to just lift your toes up so you can find the 3 points of contact on the bottom of the feet. Allow your knees to be unlocked. Maybe unlock them deeper than is even appropriate, just so that you can then come back out of it a little bit, keeping soft knees. Maybe rock a little forward into the balls of your feet, settle back into your heels. Just kind of feel that forward and backwards weight distribution in the feet from front to back. Maybe even going side to side a little bit. Maybe making circles, small circles with your hips, just to see if you can find the outside edges of your feet as you're rolling around on them. You can go one direction and then the other direction. Like, feel what feels stable, maybe even get a little unstable so that you can find your center. And then coming to center, again, maybe toes lift up, press the floor apart in between your feet so you can find the outer edges of your feet, softening that a little bit but maintaining that contact. And then just doing a body scan up from the feet through the legs, into the hips and the pelvis, and up through the lower back, into the rib cage. Take a nice deep breath into the full rib cage, 360 degrees, the back and the sides. Maybe another deep breath in and bring your shoulders up. Fill up with breath. Let the shoulders settle down and back. You can let them roll, you can let them wiggle, let them be loose. Feel some space around the heart. Lift through the back side of the skull, up and back. Lift the back of your head off of your neck. Get a little stretch down through the neck. Maybe it extends down in between the shoulder blades, maybe down to the sacrum, maybe all the way down to the heels. You have this lifting up, rooting down, and then you can expand wide. And then let's step our feet closer together towards the mirrors. So we can begin from here. We can we'll open towards the windows. Just like we do for Tai Chi, or Taiqigong. So we'll take a breath. On the exhale, soften the knees. On the inhale, let's open out towards the windows. And then the hands can settle. And actually, let's close towards the windows. Exhaling. Just take your time, soften the knees. Inhale and open out towards the mirrors. Take your time. Relax through the center. We'll close towards the mirrors. Inhaling up and in. Exhaling down. Opening again, out towards the windows. Inhale. And exhale. Now from here, inhale the arms back up. As we exhale, let's find our chi ball in between our hands. So first phase, discovering chi. As you inhale, lift through your elbows and lift through the back of the skull and get long and tall, lengthening the legs but not locking the knees, and then exhaling, just settling. We're not really compressing, but settling, and then inhale. As you exhale and the knees soften, make sure that the knees move away from each other, feeling the outer edge of the feet, and then inhaling and exhaling. Just moving like this for a little while. We'll take our time with this form. It's familiar to several of you. And for those of you who it's new to, it's not hard. Inhaling, discovering chi, or discovering the body and the breath. Discovering the focus of the mind as we are just moving, harmonizing breath and movement. Opening and relaxing. One more time, like a jellyfish. Next movement, gather chi. Inhale, the arms can open wide. On the exhale, not a fold, but a hip hinge and a knee bend. Spine is nice and tall, knees move away from each other, and then press through your heels to come up. And then exhale, relax, opening the arms, and then inhale, gathering from the sky. Exhale. Hands come down through the midline. Inhale, open wide. Exhale, hips back, spine tall, knees bend. Lift your toes. Inhale, press through your heels to come up. And then exhale. Inhale, gather, stretch, and exhale. No need to overextend. Stay in your comfort zone, exhaling. It's like we're picking something up from the ground, so lift with your legs. Strong back. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Finding your rhythm. In, out. Going down just as deep as is comfortable. In and out. Inhaling, like we're gathering up the earth, drawing it up into our bodies, and then sharing it, letting it go. Gathering up the stars, the moon, the sun, bringing it down through our bodies so that we can then convey that energy to the earth. Bring the energy of the earth up. Give it to the sky. I sometimes like to think like if I was reaching down to pick up a child, gathering it up. And then if I was the child, reaching up so I could be picked up. Lots of different ways to just experience this movement. Gathering the chi of the earth and the sky, or being a conduit for this exchange of yang energy and yin energy that's rising up through us, that's flowing down through us at the same time. One more full cycle, gathering from the earth, inhaling as we rise up, exhaling, inhaling, and exhale. Next movement, circulate chi. So the hands can float up to the heart. We'll shift towards the windows and pivot. So we're facing the mirrors, and then just let the arms flow out. As you're flowing forward, you can adjust the back foot. So you can now flow back. Lift your front toes, and you might want to adjust that front leg as well. And take your time here, so it's not so much folding over the front leg as it is, again, just sinking into that back leg. And the hands come down. Maybe not too low. I can't go too low. And then inhaling up. And then exhale. And rather than having the knee come very far forward over the foot, let the hip move back. And the upper body hinges forward. And then press through that front foot to come back. The front toes come up. And then bend the back leg just as much as is comfortable, which might not be very much. And then inhale up. And exhale forward. Hips and hands moving away from each other. Inhale, toes up in the front. Exhale. We're training for a pistol squat here. Inhale. ancient Chinese pistol squat. They did invent gunpowder, maybe they invented the pistol squat. Strong front leg pushes you back. Strong back leg supports you. Weight is more in your heel in that back leg, and then up and out. And take your time. Again, maybe the back knee just bends a fraction of an inch. You can come right back up. So just stay with what feels sustainable. Over time, that may increase. Over time, it may just stay where it is, and that is great. It's not about doing it a specific kind of way. It's about really just fully being in it. Exhaling as the arms circle out. Inhaling as they come in. And then exhaling, circling out. Inhaling one more time. Inhale. Exhale. In. Turn to face center. And then exhale. Now don't worry about the breath as we set up. The hands can come up to the level of the heart. We can pivot towards the windows. We'll take a breath here. And then exhale, flowing out in front, which gives the back foot a chance to adjust. And then we can inhale back in, and maybe that front foot adjusts a little bit. Exhaling, bending into the back leg. Inhaling up. Exhaling forward, and again, your knee can come forward some, but we don't want it to really just load in front of the foot. Pull the hip back. Get length through your IT band, through your hamstring, turn your glute on, and then hands come back. Exhaling down the front. Inhale up and out. Hips and hands moving away from each other. In. Exhale. Maybe not going too deep. And out. In. Out. Pressing up through the back heel. Hinging forward. Strong front foot rooted into the ground. Press through that foot to come back. And then exhale. Now we're more in the back foot. Inhaling. Exhale, front foot. Pressing through the front foot to inhale back. Weight shifting into the back foot. We sink. Inhale. And exhale. And again, just working with what feels doable. The different sides may have a different story, a different ability. In, out. In, and out. Inhaling one more time, we'll circulate out in front. In, and circulating down. Inhale up, turn to face center. The arms can flow around. Palms back to back. Inhale up. And then exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Let's take a moment to just breathe, to feel our bodies. Simple movements that are challenging, so maybe the heart is beating, we can feel that. Maybe we've generated some heat in the body, so just feeling that, allowing it to move. And then we can take this amplified energy of the heart and expand it. So let's take a breath in. On the exhale, press the palms forward. Inhale, open wide. Exhale, push the arms out to the side. Inhale to center. Turn the palms up, and then exhale, press up. Inhale to center. On the exhale, press down, like you're pushing yourself up and over a wall. And then inhale, palms back to back. Exhale, palms forward. Inhale, open. Exhale, wide. Inhale to center. Palms up. Exhale, up. Inhale. Exhale, down. Again, in. Exhaling, opening your heart as far as it will go. Inhale. Exhale, open your heart as wide as it will go. In. Palms up. Exhale, open your heart as high as it will go. Inhale. Opening the heart as deep as it can go. One more time through. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Palms up. Exhale. Inhale. Palms down. Exhale. Palms back to back. Inhaling. And then back into the universal symbol of gratitude. Take a breath or two or three. So that phase was called purifying Qi. This next phase is directing the Qi. So we can bring our hands over our faces and over the top of our heads and down the back of the neck and then around the base of the neck, under the collarbones, under the arms, down the backside of the body. Press your hips into your hands. And then the hands can come down the backside of the legs just as far as is comfortable, over the tops of the feet, up the front side of the body, over the belly. And then I'll mirror you out the inside of the mirror arm, over the top of the hand, and up the outside, onto the face. And then we can open the window arm and trace from the chest down the inside, over, and then up the outside. Bring that window hand in, and then the mirror hand, and we'll come over our head, around the base of the neck, under the collarbones, down the backside of the body. And take your time, direct the Qi up the front of the legs, over the belly and the chest, and then out the inside of the arm. Up the outside, and out the other way. Breathing natural, window arm, mirror arm. Again, over and around, under and down. Up the front, the belly, the chest, and then out the inside of an arm. Up the outside, out the other way. Up. One arm comes in, and then the other. Again, we're drawing in the yang energy of the universe, bringing it down and through our bodies into the earth. And from the earth, the yin energy rises up into our bodies and then gets transmitted back out, where we can then receive the yang And release the yin and receive the yang. One arm and then the other. One more time. Over and around. Under and down. Up the front. Over the belly and the chest and out the inside. Up the outside. Out the inside. Up the outside. One hand comes in and then the other, and from here we'll lift through our elbows like we're parting clouds. And then let this window hand float down. Relax or unlock your feet from the ground. The window hand floats across, and then as it floats up, the other hand floats down, and we'll bring both hands across. And then switch, and both hands come across. So drawing one side of the square and the top and the bottom of the square and the other side. And with this upper elbow, let it pull you around and then switch the arms. The upper elbow pulls you across. And you can weight shift towards the mirrors, weight shifting into that mirror leg, and then press through that leg to come up and weight shift the other way. Pressing up, weight shifting, rotating, allowing the edges of the square to become softer. So maybe now we're drawing a big oval as opposed to a rectangle, finding smooth, round movement, watching clouds pass, breathing naturally. Conserving qi. As the hand moves in front of your face, maybe look at your palm. And as the hand drops, look far away. And now look near at the hand. And as the hands switch, look far away. Playing with focus and perspective. Switching one more time. This time, when your upper hand comes in front of your face, pause, bring the other hand up to cross. And then we'll inhale the hands on either side of the hips. Exhale, hips back, knees bend. Toes lift, knees spreading away from each other. Press through your heels, gather up. And then exhale. Inhale. Hips back, spine stays tall. Exhale like you're just sitting down, tall spine, lifting through the back of the skull. Inhale. Exhale. And you don't have to go too deep. So inhaling, hips back. Exhale, maybe an inch or two. Knees moving apart. Inhale, lifting. Pressing through the heels to rise up. In. Out. In. Out. Moving like this with your breath. One more time. Inhale, hips back. Exhale, sink. Inhale, gather. Exhale, storing qi. Palms float down over the belly. And then palms back to back. We'll inhale up, not too high. And then exhale. Find your qi ball. And let's take a breath. And then exhale, like we're playing an accordion. One more. Bring the mirror hand underneath, the window hand on top, and then inhale, stretch. Exhale, flip the hands. Inhale. Exhale. Window hand, inhale, bring it back and up over your shoulder. Maintain the connection with the front hand. Exhale. Inhale. Stretch. Exhale. Transforming chi. In and out. Flip the hands. In and out. Diagonally up over the shoulder. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Window hand on top. Stretch. Feel the connection between your hands as you stretch and exhale. In and out. Palms facing each other. As we inhale, we'll bring the hands close to the body and inhale the hands up the front of the body. And then exhale out and down. So as we inhale the hands close to the body, we're nice and tall. As we exhale, don't follow your hands forward. Let the body move away from the hands slightly and sink down as the hands flow down. And then coming close to the hands, rising up, drawing the energy up the backside of the body, over the top of the head, and then exhale down the front of the body. Inhaling, draw the chi up the spine, in between the shoulder blades, through the neck, over the top of the head, and then down the front. 2 more times. Inhaling. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. And as you exhale the arms out in front, when they get to about the level of the face or the heart or the belly, just let them hang. And maybe bring your hands close. Let them rest on your chest, underneath your collarbones. Let your elbows just be soft. The arms can be heavy, so there's like no effort in the shoulders, no effort from the neck. Hands just resting. Maybe lift your toes, find your feet, find your legs. And then from here, as if in your chest, there was like a balloon that was inflating and your hands are resting on the edge of it. And the arms just flow away from the body, not lifting up, but just flowing out. Continue to lift the back of the skull off the top of the neck. Let the arms hang. So again, we're not using the neck muscles. The neck is relaxed. The elbows don't have to move too far away from the body. They can stay close. The hands don't have to be too high. They can be chest level. They can even be belly level. Fingertips face towards each other. Lift your toes. Spread the floor apart. Move the knees away from each other. Let the knees be soft. Lift the back of the skull off the base of the neck. Take a big breath behind the heart, in between the shoulder blades. A deep breath in together. Exhale the hands down. And let's close towards the mirrors. So inhale. Exhale. The hands can flow down to the sides of the body. Standing, relaxing, letting go of needing to know how to do any kind of movement or anything. Just be. Let's take a big breath in together. As you exhale, sink the knees, and then we'll inhale and open out towards the windows. Exhaling the hands down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, let your hands just fold over the lower dantian. Shift your weight towards the windows. Let your heel come up, and then we'll take a short step forward, rock forward. Rock back, foot comes back to center, weight shift. Taking a small step forward, rock forward. Rock back, those toes come up, and then the foot can lift, step to center, weight shift. So just practicing stepping in place, rock back, weight shift, and step. And as you come forward, again, don't pour everything into that front knee. Keep the knee about in line with the front of the toes. That's about as far as you need to go, and then rock back, step back, and weight shift. And let's just find a rhythm as we move. Take your time. As we find our rhythm and the movement becomes a little bit more natural, it's easy to start going a little bit faster. And so I would encourage you to remain slow. Just feel the gentle rock, the weight shift, the bottom of the foot making contact with the earth and peeling up off of the earth. Both knees are unlocked as we move through this. Even as we shift our weight forward into the front foot, the outside edge of the back foot is still rooted. We still have engagement through that back leg. Just breathing naturally. If you'd like to incorporate some spontaneous arm movements, maybe the arms just flow forward and then rocking back, and let the body lead the arms. So it's the weight shift forward and the arms follow, and it's the weight shift backwards that draw the arms in, and then a weight shift. Forwards. So slowing down. Again, let the body lead the arms. As we rock back, that's what initiates the momentum that moves the arms. It's not the arms first and then the body. Going slower than that to track it. Send them out. Draw them back in from the center. And maybe it's the hands just circling out. If you want to do something completely different, that's fine. Maybe like making a big sweeping circle. See what that's like. Circling around, back in. Just play. Yeah, it's like that circular movement kind of makes the center a little more, it's a little less linear. Flowing out and around, and then we can just follow the momentum. Back the other way. Rocking forward and back. Let's pause. Inhale the arms out. Exhale, bring the window hand underneath. Find your ball, your weight shift. Inhale through center. Find the mirror hand underneath. And let's just do this a couple times. Just weight shifting side to side. Finding our chi ball. Our Tai Chi ball. In and out. In and out. time. We'll inhale, exhale, window hand underneath, take a step, and as you rock forward, harmonize. Lower hand comes up, upper hand comes down. Rock back, this lower hand will pick up the ball as we step through center, and then harmonize. Rock back, step back, pick up the ball. Rocking back. And with the arms, like as if you were moving through something dense, like you're having to pull the hand forward and push the hand down. And then rock back. Lower hand is going to pick up the ball as we step and weight shift. Pull. Oh. Rock back and pick up the ball. So, you can make it kind of this dynamic tension effort so that you can really feel it, and then you can do less of that. But there's still some of that resistance. Like one of my teachers says, it's like we're moving through the plasma of the universe. And sometimes that little bit of feedback from the plasma helps us to find our alignment, to know how far to go, to really feel the rotation of the torso and the weight shift, and rocking back, picking up the ball, going slowly. Rock back, picking up the ball, tossing the frisbee, rocking back. What is yin, what is low becomes yang, it becomes high. One more time. Rock back. Window hand picks up the ball, and here to transition, we're going to turn our ball over. Taking the time, so weight shift, this bottom hand falls away, and as it floats out, that's what gives us the momentum to take our step. And as we take our step, this lower hand is going to push through, and the upper hand will come across to also push. And then as we rock back, the lower hand is picking up the ball, and then we settle to the other side so that lower hand has the momentum to swing out, which helps us take our step. New lower hand comes across, and we push. Rock back, picking up the ball, weight shift, drop the ball. So the lower hand, it's like brushing the knee, upper hand, sending chi. And that's what we call this movement. Brush knee, send chi. Weight shift, drop the ball. Lower hand brushes the front knee, upper hand sends the chi. Rock back, pick up the ball. Rock back, neuroplasticity in action. Lower hand drops away. Lower hand picks up the ball, and we weight shift, drop the ball. Rotate and weight shift. Rock back, pick up the ball, weight shift, drop the ball. Sending chi. Yeah, rocking back. Picking up the ball. Yeah, and as it becomes a little more natural, you can, what my teacher likes to say, one of my teachers, is you can ham it up. Like really get deep and flow, picking up the ball, little flourishes here and there. Just you can get creative with it. Like let your personality come through in your movement. And sometimes that little bit of flourish, that little bit of hamming it up, kind of helps to make the movement a little more understandable. Because again, we are following the momentum of the movement. Lower hand picks up the ball as we step, weight shift, drop the ball, and then push. Pick up the ball one more time. Sending chi. Now this window hand is going to sweep up to cross. We'll step back to center. Now here's our big movement. Window hand is in front. Let's open. Follow the window hand. Bring it around so that it becomes the top of our chi ball. The lower hand is going to trace the bottom of that upper arm across and up. And then like we're stroking the tail of a giant phoenix. Flowing out to the side, the back hand comes into the front wrist. The front elbow turns us towards the mirrors, and then we push. And then rock back. Hands flow down, and like we're pushing something away from us. And now turn to face front. The mirror hand is now out front. So we'll open with that mirror hand, follow it. Let it whip around to become the top of the ball. The lower hand now traces the bottom of the upper hand across and up. And then we stroke the phoenix's tail. Back hand into the front wrist. Front elbow turns. And then we can push. As we push forward, the back foot can adjust. So we can then rock back. Square it up to the windows and push. And then come to center. Window hand is in front. Open, following the window arm as it becomes the top of the ball. Trace with the lower arm across and up. And then stroking the phoenix's tail. Back hand to the inside of the front wrist. Front elbow turns, push. You can adjust your back foot as needed. Rock back, and then push. One more on each side. Coming to center. Mirror hand opens. Whipping around becomes the top of the ball. Lower arm traces. And then we stroke the phoenix's tail. Back hand to the inside of the front wrist, front elbow turns, press, adjust, rock back, push. Last time, coming to center, window arm is out in front, we'll open towards the windows, bring the window arm on top. The lower hand traces the bottom of that upper arm up and across, and then down. Back hand to the inside of the front wrist. Front elbow turns. Press. Adjust. Rock back. Push. Transition. Make a rainbow. Big circle. Overhead. All the way around and down. And then as you come up, mirror hand is a bird, window hand is feeding the bird. So here. So now we can weight shift, so we can take a small step, and then we open the gate and move through the gate. Rock back. Stepping to center, mirror hand comes across. We have a new bird. We're feeding the bird. This hand, as it comes up, that gives us the momentum to take our step. And then slowly open first, and then walk through. Rock back, make a new bird. Lower hand, as it comes across to feed the bird, that helps us take our step. And we open. And press. Rock back, new bird. Feed the bird, stepping, open, press. Rock back. Don't forget your bird. Up and open. Still there. Rock back. Coming across. Step. Open first, so not even so much a weight shift yet. And then weight shift. The anticipation. Open. New bird, feeding. Open first, then rock back. This time, this hand will come across, and as it floats up, the other hand floats down, and we just did this movement. Watching clouds pass, conserving chi. So we know this one. Taking our time, catching our breath. Lots of hard stuff, but this is fairly easy. Switch. Switch. And this time, our window hand will become a new bird. Lower hand is going to come up to feed the bird, which gives us momentum for the step. And here we open the hand to the knee. And then weight shift forward and rise up. And then rock back, step to center. Feed the bird, so you can take your step and just open. So weight is still in the back leg, shifting the weight now. Rock back, make a bird. Feed the bird to step. And dragon diving, dragon rising. Rocking back. Weight shift, hand to knee. Dive and rise. Rock back. Feed the bird. Open. Dive and rise. Rock back. Feed the bird. Rocking back, yeah. One more time. Open. Dive and rise. Rock back. Now, find your chi ball. Take your step and bring this heavenly orb, the sun and or the moon, bring it across. This upper hand needs to get underneath so we can push it up into the sky. And then rock back. The back hand is going to pick up a new sun and moon. We can step and bring the bottom hand underneath and push it up in the sky. Rock back. Gather up your heavenly orb, celestial body. Rocking back. Stepping to center, weight shift. Place the sun and the moon. Rock back. Gather your sun and moon, place it. Rock back, weight shift, placing the sun and the moon. Rocking back, lower hand gathers it up, and then send it up. Rock back. One more time, place the sun and the moon. Now to get back from here, it's like we're making a rainbow, and we can step to center. The hands can come around. Inhale. Exhale, open, and sink. Gather from the earth. Inhale up, and out. So we've done this one already as well. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. exhale. One more time, we'll inhale. And then as we exhale, just settle down into Wu Ji posture. You can let your arms, your hands come down low enough and close enough that your shoulders can settle. We're not rounding the shoulders can be back and down. Elbows are kind of heavy, but not collapsing. They're heavy, kind of 45-degree angles, holding elevator doors apart. Lift your toes, spread your feet apart, lift through the back of the skull, breathe in between the shoulder blades, breathe yourself tall, as well as deep into the earth through your heels. Wu Ji posture. Wu, a person, whirling, becoming a pillar of light, becoming everything. Not this, not that, everything. Ji, ultimate, endless, boundless. See if you can relax here. Any areas that might be holding tension or efforting, see if you can relax them. If you need to bring your hands really close to your body so the shoulders can just rest. Use your breath to find lift and width. We'll take a deep breath in together. Exhale the hands down. Let's close towards the windows. We'll inhale up. And exhale. The hands can rest by your sides and just take a few moments. Just feel. That was a little bit of a workout, but I like to think of it as working in. Because at the end of a Qigong Tai Chi practice, I tend to feel, even though I've been doing a lot of exercise, I feel a little energized, a little full, even stronger than when I started, whereas sometimes if I'm doing other types of exercise, I might feel a little depleted. Rather than working out, I've worked in. Just breathing all of this qi, the blood, the lymph, the intentional reclaiming of our bodies by our awareness. And then when you're ready, you can just relax your stance and we'll rub our hands together. Noticing how your hands feel compared to the first time we rubbed them together, if you remember. And then let's massage our faces a couple times. And then back and forth over the top of the head a couple times. Down the back of the neck and around. Palms together. Press the thumbs into the sternum as you drag them down over the breastbone, and then massaging the lower ribs onto the belly. Around the waist to the lower back, charging up the kidneys in the lower back, and then draw the hands out, shake them out. Let's pat up one arm, and down, up the other arm, and down, around and down the back of the legs, up the front, and again, around and down, up the front, and let's do like a little gentle shake and maybe 3 sighs of relief together. So, big breath in, with the universe consciously. Breathe it in and exhale, flush it through. It's like if we're a cup of dirty water, we have clean water pouring in until eventually all the dirty water is flushed out and we're just an overflowing cup of clean water. Like, feel what that feels like to exchange chi. It is literally happening. And that's medicine. Right. Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Ollie.
Thanks for your practice. That was a nice bit of Qigong and Tai Chi, and so I think we can kind of keep with this for a little bit, because, I feel like the form is definitely coming along, and like for all of us, it's true. We're doing great, and we can do better. So we can keep with it, because I do think it's really worth getting well before we move on to something else. But we can bring other things in, like we did today too. So thank you so much for your practice. I hope you have a wonderful week. Enjoy winter. Enjoy elderhood. Innate wisdom. All right. Thank you. And let me know if you want a recording. Okay. Thank you. And thank you, everyone. Thanks for practicing. And we'll see you next week.